Hi everyone, how are you? Can you please confirm if screen is visible or not? So the first news article is related to Justice Burma case and in-house inquiry. Now, what is this case? So basically, Justice Yashwant Burma challenged the in-house inquiry and recommendation for his removal. Former Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, sent the report to the Prime Minister and President in May 2025, and this report recommended his impeachment removal, and the allegation were against him. Unaccounted cash were found after a fire at the judge's residence, and recently Chief Justice of India B.R. Gawai said that he'll be constituting a bench to hear the matter, but he himself recused due to prior involvement. Now, if we talk about the removal of High Court judge, so removal of High Court judge is related to Article 217 of Indian Constitution, and then 124 Clause 4, and then Article 218, and then Judges Inquiry Act 1968. It requires parliamentary motion passed by special majority, and then the president passes the order to remove the judge. Now, what is this in-house inquiry procedure? Basically, it's an internal mechanism devised by the judiciary, but it's not backed by the any statute. So UPSC can ask question that whether this in-house inquiry is having any kind of backing from any law. So the answer is no. It is not under any law. It's a mechanism that is devised by the judiciary itself, and generally it is used for ethical scrutiny of judges, and it lacks statutory safeguards like cross examination, formal charges. Last time we heard about this in-house inquiry in the case of Justice Gogoi. He was the allegation were made against him that he has sexually harassed her one of the associate or employee, and then she made these allegations, and thereafter in-house inquiry was conducted against Justice Gogoi, and it was headed by the then Supreme Court Judge Justice Bobde. And so in this in-house inquiry, they don't get any lawyer. There is no cross-examination and all. So basically, you can understand what can happen. That I'm the judge in my own case. It's like that only, not very transparent. All right. Now let's talk about constitutional articles that are associated with this procedure. Article 124 clause 4, it's related to removal of Supreme Court judge. Then Article 2 217 of the Constitution, it's related to appointment and removal of High Court judges. Article 218, 218, again and again I'm telling you. So it's 218 is basically application of Article 124 Clause 4 to High Court judges. Now let's talk about bit Judges Inquiry Act 1968. It is statutory procedure for removal with stringent checks, and it requires a parliamentary motion, committee inquiry, and a special majority in both the houses. So if UPSC is asking you any question in prelims that it requires simple majority in one house and the special majority in the house where motion has been introduced, or vice versa, it requires a special majority in both the houses, or it requires simple majority in both the houses. So in all the cases, the answer is it requires a special majority in both the houses. Keep in mind. Now, if we talk about from the mains perspective, so basically there are few things that are associated from the mains perspective. First one is judicial independence. That is, you can note down these things. Whatever I'm telling you, you won't find these things in notes. Therefore, you can note down them. First one is judicial independence, basic structure. Now, arbitrary procedure like in-house inquiries may erode trust and judicial autonomy. That is the first issue. Then the other one, the other constitutional dimension involves, that is parliament has that is separation of powers. Basically, parliament has exclusive authority for removal through Judges Inquiry Act 1968, and and then in-house procedure by judiciary risk usurpation of legislative work, basically. So basically it's infringement in the legislative role. Now third one is due process of law, allegation of lack of hearing, because if it's in-house inquiry, so there I don't think so that there's due process of law, because there are a lot of allegation of lack of hearing. Then there is no cross examination, and then proper evidence point to violation of natural justice. So no cross examination, no proper evidence, and all these things point to violation of natural justice. Now the next constitutional dimension involves is need for institutional accountability. While judges must be protected from undue pressure, but there should be a mechanism that must uphold fairness and transparency. All the You can't do all these things in behind the closed doors. You should be accountable to the public, because even the judges are getting salary from the taxpayers money. Okay. And if the money is coming to provide you salary and to function to make the institution function from the taxpayers, then why should not there be any mechanism that is transparent and it is available for everyone? If you are holding in-house inquiry, then make it live. If two parties are there, make it live. It should be streamed online. Then only we will know that this procedure is transparent and what is happening behind the doors. Yeah, the next constitutional dimension includes judiciary's internal checks. In-house procedure serves an internal disciplinary role, but must not bypass constitutional mandate. All right. Now I have a few questions for you. These are prelims questions, and first question is related to removal of high court judges. So the first statement is that the removal of high court judge is solely governed by the Judges Inquiry Act 1916. So this is the first statement. Second statement is the procedure requires a special majority in both the houses. So second one is special majority. Third one, the in-house inquiry mechanism has statutory backing under Article 218. Statutory backing. Now you need to answer Which of the statement is are correct? Two only. Second one and two. I can write down here A, two, B, one and two, C, one and three, one and three, and D is one, two, three. Please quickly answer. Please answer quickly. And you can only send message if you have subscribed the channel. So please do subscribe it. Chetan is saying one, two, three. Chetan, one, two, three is not the correct answer. I've already told you that the in-house inquiry mechanism has no statutory backing. So how can you say that the answer is one, two, three? The answer is B, one and two. All right. Next one. Next question for you. The question is that Judges Inquiry Act 1968 provides for. First one is disciplinary proceeding against lawyers. Second one, parliamentary mechanism for impeachment of judges. Third one, removal of judges by president through executive order. Fourth one, Supreme Court's power to suspend sitting judge. So option A, I'll repeat the question. The Judges Inquiry Act 1968 provides for disciplinary action against lawyer. Option B, parliamentary mechanism for impeachment of judges. Parliamentary mechanism for the impeachment of judges. Third one is removal of judges by president through executive order. So it's clearly saying executive order. The last one is Supreme Court's power to suspend sitting judges. Now, what is the correct answer? A, B, C, D. Which one is the correct answer? All right, the answer is B. Great. Now, mains question, I'll tell you the mains question. So, the mains question is discuss the constitutional provision governing the removal of judges in India. do mechanism like the in-house inquiry pose a threat to the principle of separation of power and judicial independence? Uh, all right. Now I'll explain static concept also. So constitutional basis for the removal of judges in India lies under Article 124 Clause 4 of Indian Constitution for Supreme Court judges, and then for High Court judges Article 217, and you need to read it with Article 124 Clause 4. All right, and the process, the process is that the motion should be signed by 100 Lok Sabha member or 50 Raj Sabha member. Then investigate, if it is approved by the speaker, then investigation by a 3-member committee. Okay, so this 3-member committee I have already explained yesterday, so I'm not going to explain again. Then it will submit its report to the House, and the House will then pass a motion by special majority, and the motion should be passed in both the houses. And the moment it has been passed by both the houses by special majority, president issues removal order, and then the High Court judge or Supreme Court judge gets removed. Next concept is Judges Inquiry Act 1968. It provides for the procedure and safeguards for inquiry. Also, it includes formal charges, cross-examination, and legal representation. Now, what is in-house procedure? It's not a law. It's just a self-regulatory mechanism by judiciary. It is used for ethical misconduct, not major criminal charges. Relevance for UPSC, Article 124, Article 217, Article 218, Judges Inquiry Act 1968, in-house inquiry mechanism, basic structure doctrine. If we talk about mains, so basically GS paper 2, separation of power, judicial accountability versus independence, and constitutional morality and institutional ethics. Then basic structure doctrine. All right. So we are done with this. The next one is vice president election. Now, the question is that why are we having this vice presidential election now? This is the question now. All right. So I'll tell you first point, a reason for election. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar resigned in July 2025, citing health reasons, creating a midterm vacancy. This is the reason that we'll be having vice presidential election. Now if we talk about the constitutional provision, because every day we are doing this for last 3 days, the constitutional provisions are involved. Article 324, it mandates the Election Commission of India to conduct election. Now UPSC can ask question, who conducts the election for vice president office? So the answer is Election Commission of India. Now vice is governed by Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Act 1952. So the act is Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Act 1952 and Presidential and Vice Presidential Election Rules 1974. So these two things are totally different. First one is Act of 1952, then its rules are 1974. All right. Let's talk about the electoral college for vice president. It is composed of both elected and nominated member of Raj Sabha and Lok Sabha. Total around there are approximately 788 members of parliament. Now, depending on current strength, no MLA is involved, unlike the presidential election. If we talk about the presidential election, so MLA is involved. Third thing is that no party whip applies. Member votes independently. It means that a party is saying that vote to a candidate X, the MP cannot abide by that particular whip, and it can vote to a different candidate, whosoever he thinks is the best in his eyes. So keep in mind, this is something that can be asked, and people can get confused also. Now, next thing is nomination requirement. It around minimum 20 proposer and 20 seconders require nomination submitted to returning officer between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. on notified days, and security deposit is 15,000 rupees. Conduct of election, returning officer usually Secretary General of Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha on the rotation basis. Then there will be two assistant returning officers from the respective secretariat, and voting is by secret ballot using the single transferable vote system. If we talk about from the mains perspective, a few more things. So it's a constitutional office. Vice President is the second highest constitutional authority in India. He is ex officio chairperson of Raj Sabha under Article 64 of the Indian Constitution. Electoral mechanism, you already know about it. Then role of election commission. Election commission functions under Article 324 to ensure free and fair election for the office of vice president. It initiates pre-poll processes, electoral roll finalization, nomination processes, RO appointment, etc. All right. Now, if we talk about democratic values that are involved, so there is no party whip in vice presidential election, safeguard autonomy. So basically, no party whip in vice presidential election, which safeguards autonomy of MPs. Then it reflects commitment to free and impartial selection of constitutional functionaries. What is the significance of midterm vacancy? It is a rare constitutional event, and it tests preparedness and neutrality of election commission. It also ensures continuity in parliamentary functioning, especially Raj Sabha proceeding. Now, I have a question for you. The question is quite simple. The question is, who among the following are part of electoral college for the election of Vice President of India? So, first statement, elected MP of Raj Sabha and Lok Sabha. Second one, second option is nominated MP of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. Third one is MLAs. MLAs of state assemblies. Now you've got two choices. A is one and two, B 2 and 3, C 1 and 3, and D is 1, 2, and 3. Please answer quickly. All right, answer is A. Should I give you one more question? The next question is, which of the following statement regarding the vice presidential election is correct? First one is that voting is conducted through open ballot. Second one is political parties can issue whips. Third one is the election is governed by a law enacted in 1952. You've got, and the next one is nominated member of both houses are eligible for vote. Nominated. Now you've got four choices. First one is 1 and 3. Second one is 2 and 4 only. Third one is 3 and 4 only. Last one is 1, 2 and 4. What's the correct answer? All right, answer is C. Now let's talk about some static topic related to this particular concept. First one is Article 63. What does Article 63 talks about? 63 says there shall be a Vice President of India. Then Article 64, 64 says that he'll be ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Then Article 66, it talks about election procedure of Vice President. Article 67, it talks about term and resignation. Now we talk about the eligibility. Eligibility is citizen. He should be citizen of India. Minimum age should be 35. He should be qualified to become a Rajya Sabha member. He must not hold an office of profit. Now you see, we are discussing current affairs, the Hindu, and we are covering polity portion or whatever portion is coming. So don't you think that this exercise is a very helpful exercise? But the problem is that people don't want to do it. They are in their own world, and then they'll fail prelims again and again and again, and then they'll blame this one, that one. If I have already told everyone that if you just listen to the Hindu newspaper, read the Hindu newspaper, your current affairs will be sorted. That is the first thing. And second thing, for it's going to be very helpful for your mains also, and for your prelims exam per se. Now we are discussing a lot of static thing. So these things they won't find in notes also. So they are missing on these things. Notes are very concise. If you don't listen to this session, you won't be able to understand the notes. So that's the thing. But what can we do? If had it been some video or some program where people must be using some people using some sort of vulgarity or talking some nonsense, thousands of people will come and join, but nobody wants to study, and that's the reason that uh, people are where they should be actually, because of their non-seriousness. Anyway, let's talk about the election process. So it is elected by member of both the houses of parliament. When I'm saying member of the both the houses of parliament, it means nominated and as well as elected. Method is proportional representation by single transferable vote. It's not through open ballot, it's through secret ballot, no party whip. Now we talk about term and vacancy. The term is 5 years, and vacancy can occur by resignation. The president can resign, and he can write to the president of India, or he can be removed by resolution of Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, with the concurrence of Lok Sabha. In case of vacancy, election must be held within 6 months. Relevance for UPSC syllabus. Article 63 to 67, Vice President, Election Laws, 1952 Act and 1974 Rule. Role of Election Commission under Article 324, Electoral College Composition. So these are the relevant things for prelims. For mains, GS Paper 2, Indian Constitution, Parliament and Election. Now let's talk about the next topic. The next topic is India-China relationship. Am I audible? If anyone can confirm. Okay. India-China relationship. Recently, the government has said that um, uh, that travel visa will be resumed, which were which were frozen post Galwan conflict, and second thing, the restoration of people to people contact, which is key to building trust. Now, the second important point is that soft diplomacy through pilgrimage. Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is both religious and geopolitical. So they said that this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra will be resumed, and it also shows willingness to accommodate sensitivities and cultural ties. The another thing that is involved here is track to diplomacy, which is tourism, student exchange, visa liberalization, which is critical component of track to diplomacy. So if UPSC asks any question on track to diplomacy, you can mention tourism, you can mention student exchange, you can mention visa liberalization, and it also symbolizes peaceful intent beyond formal talks. But there are certain issues also, like this geopolitical tension persist. So China's dam project on Yarlung Sangpo. Next year, the question has to come on Brahmaputra. I'm telling you, the question will come on Brahmaputra, and this Yarlung Sangpo, the question will definitely come. So keep in mind this thing. So this China's dam project on Yarlung Sangpo, Brahmaputra River raises India's concern. First one is it is a potential threat to water scarcity in Assam and Northeast, and it also and China insists its within sovereign rights, offers hydrological data sharing. Now, if we can talk about relevance of multilateral diplomacy. So basically, from the perspective of multilateral diplomacy, the progress comes ahead of SCO summit in China, and Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping met in Kazan, Russia in 2024, which helped restart diplomatic channels. All right. Now, I have a question for you. The question is that the Yarlung Sangpo River, often in news in India China relation, is known in India as Tista, Satluj, Brahmaputra, Subansri. We just talked about it. Now, I'll tell you few facts. India and China shares approximately 3488 kilometer. This data you need to check, but approximately it's 3488 kilometer LAC. Okay. and uh, disputed sectors are Aksai Chin, Arunachal Pradesh, and the key flashpoint we had with China 1962 war, Doklam 2017, Galwan Valley clash 2020. So, if we talk about soft diplomacy tools that are being used are Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, that is religious and cultural initiative, student and business visas, tourism exchange, yoga diplomacy. River dispute, Brahmaputra, this Yarlung Sangpo, it's Brahmaputra, this Yarlung Sangpo, basically it originates in Tibet region, and China's dams and project raise alarm in India and Bangladesh because these are dam projects, and India demands prior data sharing and consultation. For prelims perspective, rivers of India and origin. So this is the important things for prelims: current affairs, India, China, diplomatic development, international institution, SCO. Mains perspective: bilateral relationship between India and its neighbor. Paper GS2, conflict resolution through diplomacy, India's neighborhood policy, multilateral summit, SCO, BRICS. Now let's talk about modern warfare and India's defense preparedness. So basically now warfare is no longer limited to traditional battlefield engagement. Now we are seeing drones are being engaged. All right. So it's not that hand to hand fight. There are drones, it's Air Force and other warfare equipment that are fighting war. Okay, so basically drones, hypersonic missiles, and AI integrated surveillance are frontline asset these days. Technological tools in a recent conflict. If we talk about Russia Ukraine war, then drones, loitering munition, AI, and autonomous weapons. If we talk about India Pakistan, that is Operation Sindoor, which Prime Minister said that it's ongoing. So, fixed wing drones, air to air missiles were used, precision strike using BrahMos, and Songar drones from Turkey. So, this Songar drones from Turkey were used by the Pakistan, and we used BrahMos. Then another thing, we can talk about India challenges. Basically, first challenge is that India's heavy reliance on imported weapons like Rafale jets. See, the thing is that we are relying on foreign countries for our warfare assets. Rafale we got from France, so at least we need to make our own jets, like we are making Tejas, but we need to do a bit more, and that can only be done when there is no corruption in country, and the investment is being made in research rather than freebies. Then the second challenge we have is indigenous platform like Tejas and unmanned drones lag behind schedule. So the delivery of Tejas has to be done at particular time, but it's behind the schedule. Then diversification and indigenous modernization of defense. Now, what are the emerging threats? Risk of two war front. First one, China with J20 upcoming sixth generation fighter jet. See, we don't have fifth generation fighter jet, but China is almost coming with sixth generation fighter jet, J20. And then the other front is Pakistan. So these are the risks that are involved. Then cyber and AI based attacks that bypass conventional defense infrastructure. So things are very complicated. Now, what are the some policy recommendations that I can tell you? It's perfectly from mains perspective, and you can write down all these things. So, first thing is that rapid induction of AI and drone system. That is the first thing that we need to do. So these whatever I'm telling you, it's straightforward for your answer. Then the second thing, investment in high altitude endurance UAVs. Then a strong push for indigenous manufacturing and research and development. And we need to prepare for multi-front and hybrid warfare scenarios. Okay, and now I'm going to ask a question. The question is, which of the following features are characteristic of modern warfare? The first one is, again, I'll repeat, the question is related to characteristic of modern warfare. First one is loitering munitions and AI based targeting. Second option is only conventional strikes and infantry dominance. Conventional air strike and infantry dominance. Third one is network centric and cyber warfare. Cyber. Fourth one is hypersonic missile development. Now you've got four choices. First one is one, four. Second choice you've got one and two. Third choice you've got two and four. And then last choice is all of the above, one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. What's the correct answer? Please quickly answer quickly. I'll repeat the questions. What are the characteristics of modern warfare? First one is loitering munition and AI based targeting. Second one is only conventional airstrikes and infantry dominance. Third one is network centric and cyber warfare. And fourth one is hypersonic missile deployment. So you've got four choices: one, three, four, one and two, two, four, one, two, three, four. Jyoti is saying all of the above. MB Jork is saying all of the above. See, I've already explained this modern warfare, and still you are answering all. Answer is one, three, four. Second answer is incorrect. Only conventional airstrike and infantry dominance is not part of modern warfare. It's a conventional war. Infantry is dominant, then how come you can say that's a modern warfare? Because modern warfare includes technology. You understand? Now I have a question for you. Operation Desert Storm. I'll repeat. Operation Desert Storm. 1991 is significant in military history because of it was first war involving nuclear weapon. Option A, nuclear were involved. Option B, marked by the beginning of cyber warfare. Option C, it demonstrated modern network centric warfare tactics network. And the fourth one is it led to the formation of NATO. What's the correct answer? I'll repeat options. It was the first war involving nuclear weapons. Operation Desert Storm. Second is it marked the beginning of cyber warfare. Third one is demonstrated modern network centric warfare tactics. Fourth one is it led to the formation of NATO. What's the correct answer? See, please answer, everyone. Eh, Answer is C. All right. So from the prelims perspective, it's related to this Operation Desert Storm and then modern warfare. The question we have already asked. From mains perspective, it's GS paper 3, internal security and defense. All right. Now let's talk about. I'll explain what is modern warfare. So modern warfare is something that involves multi-domain conflict like land, air, sea, cyber, and space, and it emphasizes speed, precision, intelligence, and coordination. What are the key elements? Cyber warfare, which is attacking digital infrastructure. Second thing is AI and automation, which is targeting target recognition and autonomous drones. Then loitering munitions, which means suicide drones that hovers before strike. Then we have got hypersonic missile that is traveling greater than 5 Mach speed, which is difficult to intercept. And you know that India attacked Pakistan's airbase, used hypersonic missile. So that's the reason they could not intercept, and that's the reason America intervened. That's what they said, that they were afraid that if India starts using these hypersonic missiles, Pakistan could have gone in 2 or 3 days. But I don't know why our government stopped this, because our infantry was not involved. It was all modern warfare, and we had advantage, but we never know, because Trump almost 25 times, 26 times he said that I stopped the war. So are we so big that we had vote down against that lunatic Trump? If we are, then our leadership and our people need to think that if we are so, then what's the purpose of have being sovereign country if any other country can dictate that you do this, you fight this time, you don't fight this time? You understand? So it basically questions our sovereignty because someone else is controlling us. Now, if we talk about the India's modernization roadblocks, so first thing is that slow indigenization. We heavily relying on foreign technology. So our slow indigenization includes this AMCA, Kaveri design delays, then over dependence on foreign supplier like France, Russia, Israel, and then we have limited capacity in AI, quantum, cyber research and development. In India, we are just involved in caste politics, but you see other countries, they are excelling in AI, they are excelling in quantum computing, research and development. So you can just give people freebies and then start communal and caste politics in the country, or you can give them good education. You can invest in education and research and development, and uh, we can actually become Vishwaguru. So nobody knows what's happening. From the prelims perspective, defense exercises like BrahMos, Rafale. Then Rafale is not fifth generation. Please keep in mind it's 4.5 generation. Then a recent conflict and defense technology like Ukraine, Desert Storm, and then India's defense policy and modernization schemes. From the mains perspective, international relation, global conflict trend, and then GS paper 3, security challenges in border area, internal security, role of technology in warfare, defense preparedness, indigenization of defense, challenges in defense procurement, and modernization. All right. So these were the things that I wanted to discuss with you. And now we are done for the day. We'll I'll send this slide in the group. Okay, so you can go through it. This president reference is still in news, and it's developing story. So I'm not going to discuss it. And yesterday itself, I discussed it. So that's the reason I'm not discussing. But what I want to tell you that if you read newspaper again and again, same news will come, and you will understand things. So if you make notes just on first day, then the next day you need to add just few things. And but the thing is that if you are reading every day, then only you will be able to do exercise. If you read newspaper one day and you don't read it for 5 days, then you'll miss the story, because the story is always connecting story. All right. So I'll send the file, and then we can you can go through it, and those people who are new, so they can join our Telegram channel, Easing UPSC or UPSC Pulse, and you'll be getting this PDF of this session, and also another PDF that is bit detailed. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll be meeting tomorrow, 9 p.m. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.